to 61. We've got an interesting matchup here tonight in Tucson. It's the Arizona Wildcats and Cal Poly. Let's take a look at Cal Poly. And the player to keep an eye on, Chris Everson out of Chicago. He can do it all. The guard. He's a senior. Rice transfer, and he leads them in scoring from a season ago. He's been terrific. And their head coach at Cal Poly in San Luis Obispo is Joe Calero. 63 and 63 so far at Cal Poly. For the Wildcats of Arizona, as we take a look at our Esurance starting lineup for the Wildcats, talked a lot already about T.J. McConnell and Nick Johnson. They go with the three guards to begin the game. We'll keep an eye on Aaron Gordon as well.
It'll sound like Lou Holtz, but I don't mean it to be like that, because this team's good. Cal Poly can play, and you know, Matt, not only did they beat UCLA last year by 2 in Poly, they went into USC 2 years ago and they beat the Trojans by 6. So they've beaten 2 Pac-12 teams 2 years in a row. They're trying for a third.
Aaron Gordon wins the tip. We're underway at McHale in Tucson as T.J. McConnell will bring the ball up. Packed house as always here at McHale. The U of A chant goes up. Gordon thought about it. Cal Poly loves the pressure. Driving the lane, and it goes up and in. Brandon Ashley.
Yeah, off balance, but was able to convert. I thought interesting, Cal Poly came out in the man. There's been a lot of talk they would play zone 1-3-1 or 2-3. I think you'll just see a lot of changing defenses from this Cal Poly team.
Eversley has it. Odister, another guy to keep the eye on. Now Johnson, not much there. Down the lane and putting it home that time. Dave Nuwaba out of Los Angeles. He's a sophomore wing. Keep an eye on him tonight as well.
Now, welcome to college basketball, at least Division I college basketball. Nuwaba, the 6'4", 200-pound sophomore out of Santa Monica Junior College. He came in a great move. And the thing they like about Nuwaba, Matt, is a terrific athlete. He really can get up and go. He showed it there, just using his physical tools to get in the lane and rise by the rim.
And at the other end, Nuwaba picks up his first personal. T.J. McConnell, A-10 Rookie of the Year a couple of years ago at Duquesne. He's got the ball, and he'll put it on the wing for Gabe York. Now Johnson. York, 3, and he can't buy the bucket. And a rebound for Cal Poly. 2-2 early tonight at McHale in Tucson. Johnson back out high. Odister for 3. So both teams unable to convert early 3 balls. Johnson drives and he gets it to go.
Yeah, and this is what you're going to see all year for Arizona. Their best offense is going to be taking it off the glass, getting in transition, and you see what they can do. The guy that rebounds can finish it all the way to the other side. Nick Johnson on that play.
Nuwaba goes underneath and he draws the foul, and it's good. So a chance for a 3-point play here for Cal Poly. Well, Nuwaba's out of Los Angeles. He's a transfer out of Santa Monica Junior College. Moments prior to that, Nick Johnson and then Dave Nuwaba.
Now you see that Nick Johnson drive to the rim, Matt, and you wonder, you know, the new rules, and we'll talk about those later. A lot of guys might have tried for a charge. I thought the Cal Poly guy, because of the rule, moved out of the way just a little, gave Johnson the look.
York puts it up. Gordon follows it on the glass.
Now the great freshman coming in, his first points as an Arizona Wildcat. You can just see the intensity with Aaron Gordon right now. His motor is already on high.
Got a whistle underneath, and it goes against Cal Poly. Jamal Johnson picks up his first second-team foul. Couple of minutes into this one, 6-4 Wildcats. McConnell looks to drive and he'll dish it off. Out high for York. Aaron Gordon tries to drive the lane, throws one up, and he draws the foul.
And I think interesting that Cal Poly is going to put Eversley on Gordon, and Eversley their best player. That's a tough matchup for him. I mean, Eversley's an older guy, has been through the wars here in college, but I think a real size disadvantage against Aaron Gordon. And, you know, the one thing that struck me about Gordon when I first saw him, and you said this today, Matt, as well, is he's 6'9.5", and you see so many kids come into college. They come in at 6'9" or 6'10" as he misses that first free throw, but they come in and all of a sudden they're 6'6".
Right.
But he came in and you can see the size, the physicality of him, and that's going to serve him well. We saw it there on the block against Eversley.
Second one on the way, and he doesn't get either, but it's put up and off the glass. Good follow-up that time by Brandon Ashley. He's got 4.
Well, and I think Ashley has been active. We saw him in the exhibition game. I think the emergence or the presence of Gordon has helped Brandon Ashley in this first part of the month in practice. He's become a better player because of Aaron Gordon.
They send it around. Cal Poly, Johnson out high. Eversley sets the of San Jose, California. Fans loving the start. 11-4 Wildcats.
Yeah, they're going nuts, and you think of the transitory nature of college basketball, guys in, guys out. A lot of them are here to see Aaron Gordon and Rondé Hollis-Jefferson, their first look at a two big-time McDonald's All-Americans, and they're loving it early.
Well, the big guys in for Cal Poly, Brian Bennett, as Nawab will play. Good work out high by Gabe York. Nawab drives the lane, kick out Johnson. Now Odister wants to try the baseline, and they look at the Bennett, and it's rejected that time. Aaron Gordon underneath. Officials timeout. What a great start to 4.
Inside McHale, it's electric. This entire U of A campus is electric. They've got a lot of things going on. A big volleyball win last time, and last night. You got the game tonight. Of course, Arizona football tomorrow. Homecoming against UCLA, and Arizona back on the court Monday.
Bennett will give it off. Now Johnson. That's going to do it. Shot clock violation.
Now, one of the things Joe Calero does is he really tries to slow the game down at times, and against good teams, he wants ball possession, take care of the ball.
Can't like the pace right now.
No, you could see that. That was a specific play. Told his guys, let's run through our stuff. Just went a little too long.
T.J. McConnell. Trying to get it down low that time. Ball intended for Tarzuski, and that goes out of bounds, and it'll be Cal Poly ball. Leading scorers so far for the Wildcats, 5 points from Aaron Gordon.
35.
We're talking about Pac-12 success for this program in San Luis Obispo. Wins over UCLA and USC. They're playing a heck of an out-of-conference schedule. Members of the Big West Conference. It looks like they're going to get Nick Johnson here for the foul.
Now, that wasn't one of the new hand-checking rules. He just got his hip into Johnson there, and that was an easy call.
Kind of locked in, right?
Yep. Kind of got that hip in. And
Eversley's been quiet. We talked about his success and his leadership as a senior, really the go-to guy for Joe Calero's Mustangs. And he's got the ball, puts up a 3, and he gets it to go.
Now Brandon Ashley just off him enough and gave him that look. Big shot, I think, by Eversley there just to get things going for this team, some confidence. He's really the heart and soul of this team.
T.J. McConnell dishes on the baseline and putting it home that time, Aaron Gordon.
Well, they said this week that Gordon had a strained groin muscle and that he was about 80%. This is an unbelievable start for the freshman.
Big block underneath, and it rolls out. It'll be Cal Poly ball.
And you see McConnell, and that's all set up by getting into the lane by McConnell. As they said, the first pass-first point guard for Sean Miller in 5 years. And you know, I saw McConnell in one of their exhibition games. He actually made a great play and pointed at Miller as if to say, that's right, man. That's right. We got a good one.
3 ball on the way, doesn't go that time for Johnson. And now Odister for 3, and he gets it to go. So a couple of 3 balls here, and Cal Poly has cut the Arizona lead to 3.
Well, and that's the one way they stayed in that game in Pauley Pavilion last year. They hit 9 threes. Odister was one of their guys. He hit, they said, 3 or 4 of them from way deep. And again, Arizona getting inside. Unselfish play.
Yeah, that time
Nick Johnson.
And Tarczewski will go to the line. Well, they're getting there. They're having their way down low in the paint. So Caleb Tarczewski out of Claremont, New Hampshire. Can't get it to go. If there's one weakness so far, it's free throw shooting for the Wildcats. Tarczewski again underneath, and he can't put it on. Hollis Jefferson gets it to go, top of the key.
Just like his buddy Aaron Gordon, Hollis Jefferson, the McDonald's All-American, comes in and nails his first shot in McHale Center. Big bucket for him.
Eversley, last trip down, hit a big 3 for Cal Poly. Tarczewski out. Now Eversley lets it go. That's short. Bennett the rebound. Odister will let it fly. Got it.
Now, and they told us, they said he would shoot it from anywhere this side of half court, and he's showing it there. He got hot several times last year, and that's the one thing Arizona's got to watch for. They can play with Arizona if they can knock down threes.
Foul here, and this is going to go against Arizona. Caleb Tarczewski with the foul. And so Cal Poly will inbounds.
That was interesting, Matt. Arizona struggled defensively last year guarding the 3. And the year and 2 years before that, they were one of the top 5 in the country 2 years running. Sean Miller said a little of that was they have more length, maybe a little bit more difficult for their bigs to get out on guys, but that was a guard there able to knock a deep one in.
They finished 5th last year in Pac-12 play in terms of defensive prowess. And Odister gets that one to go, and we got ourselves a 1-point game.
They asked Odister after one of his games his freshman year, he said, what do they call you? He said, KO Buckets. It's because that was his name.
KO Buckets.
Kyle Odister, and I hit buckets, and so that's his nickname, and he came out big already tonight.
Gabe York's going to let a 3-ball fly.
Yeah, it looked like he traveled, I thought.
Yeah, it looks like a foul here is going to go against Rondé Hollis Jefferson. A little surprised that seems a little inconsistent in the game so far tonight for the Wildcats in terms of the game plan. They were having a lot of success down low, and they've elected to shoot a few from the outside here as of late. Not hitting. They were very cold in the first half of that exhibition against Augustana before they got their game going.
Part of that, definitely packing it in by Cal Poly here. They see what you see, Matt, and they say, look, we're not going to let the big guys beat us. And they've been playing kind of like that pack line defense that Arizona plays.
Malik Love in the ball game, and he's going to try to drive the baseline, and he draws the foul here. Rondae Hollis-Jefferson with a foul. Bit of a surprise so far. Cal Poly with a two-piece. And the Washington Huskies live coverage starts tomorrow at 12 with the pregame show on Pac-12 networks. Cal Poly trying to pull the upset here tonight in Tucson. It's early, but they've got a 2-point lead. 12 of Arizona's 17 points have come from inside the paint. The other story, Cal Poly and their 3 balls. They're 5 for 8. Odister. And it looks like an offensive foul here against Cal Poly. They're on a 9-0 run over the last minute 39. And now Arizona out of that timeout will try to straighten it out.
Now you see Cal Poly really working clock, and that's what they want to do, especially with the lead. And they were one of the best in the country last year, Matt. Second in the nation with the fewest turnovers. They've got 4 early tonight. That hasn't been good, but they've made up for it with that long-distance shooting.
That was a key, taking care of the ball. And we talked to Joe Calero. 3 on the way, T.J. McConnell from the corner.
Now, you mentioned taking threes, but I like that shot so much more within the offense. They get a little movement, great penetration by Gabe York, and then T.J. McConnell, he's on the receiving end, using on the passing end, knocks that one in.
You knew you were going to do that to us. McConnell's all over the place, I guess. Bennett, hook shot, missed everything. Gabe York will bring it up.
You knocked down one from the corner. I saw it this afternoon. That's why I remember.
No relation, by the way, is the disclaimer. And if you saw my jump shot, you'd know why. Foul here on Bennett underneath for Cal Poly.
On the great drive there, Gabe York. And TJ shoots a little bit of a set shot, but was very effective in his years at Duquesne when he was a freshman. Shot right around 40% from the three-point line, and then his sophomore year moved that up to 43. And you got to figure with all the work he puts in, he's going to be higher than that this year.
Karczewski gets the first one, and back to Miller as we get substitutions. Nick Johnson back in the ball game, and coming out for Arizona, Rondae Hollis-Jefferson. But just talking to Sean Miller this week, they keep practice stats here at Arizona. They're very serious about their practice stats, and he looked at T.J. McConnell's practice stats as really off the charts, as good as anybody that he's ever seen.
Yeah, they give a gold jersey to the player that plays the best that week and wins those statistics, those points. And the first week Brandon Ashley had it. I think since then, T.J. McConnell, that's it. He's been phenomenal in every area of the game. Just every day they say he shows up and gets after it.
Trying to retire early.
Yeah, that's right. He's owning it.
Wants to put it in his closet and just tuck it away for the season. Eversley. Put it up, and it goes off the glass wildly, and we're going to whistle here and a foul on Cal Poly. I think they're going to get Zach Gordon, the sophomore forward out of Linwood, Washington. What have you thought of Eversley so far on the Cal Poly side?
Well, he's been patient, and part of that is they've got Ashley and Gordon guarding Eversley. They can switch off with either one of those guys. The one great thing about this Arizona team, so many of these guys can guard different positions. Other than their 5, they can switch almost every screen.
First is on the way, and he gets it coming up the State Farm halftime report. Georgetown and Oregon battling in South Korea. Today's basketball highlights from Utah and Arizona State. We'll have highlights and stats from this one. Mike Yam manning the studio back in San Francisco. Second one won't go. We get a foul. They get Aaron Gordon. 16 foul now for the Wildcats.
Now, and that's a tough foul on Gordon because he just physically dominated inside and grabbed the ball. Maybe he was a little bit on Eversley's back, but probably could have let that one go.
Arizona's opened up a 4-point lead. Malik Love with the ball. Love trying to cut, ran into trouble. McConnell strips it away and he'll bring it up. Down low, Aaron Gordon. Little hook off the glass, won't go. And it'll be Wildcat ball.
Now you see TJ on the floor already. I was at practice yesterday, the day before the game, and it's supposed to be kind of 70-80%. He was on the floor, it counted 5 times in about 20 minutes, and there you go again. He loves to get dirty.
TJ McConnell with the ball. Now Gabe York to the middle. Gordon kicks it out. Nick Johnson drives the lane, tries the ball off the glass, can't get it to go. A big rebound here for Cal Poly as Chris Eversley brings it up. Went to Walter Payton Prep in Chicago. Malik Love. Now Eversley, very deliberate, Cal Poly. Eversley got stripped of the ball there and turning it the other way. York draws the foul underneath. And they'll get Zach Gordon. That'll be his second.
York, a nice job getting his body into the Cal Poly player. That's what you got to do to draw that foul. York, a terrific athlete. That's an easy call, foul there. And you know, as good as Nick Johnson is, maybe the most athletic guy in the country, York is right there. I mean, he can get up, he can go, he's physical. The one thing they needed from him was to gain more weight, get stronger, and he's doing that.
6'3", 180, the guard York. He gets the first one. 14 points and a couple of rebounds against Augustana in that exhibition game. Averaged just 2.4 as a freshman. I like the way he handles the ball up court, too. He's a very good ball handler.
Well, this is a small sample size, but you look last year, 9 assists, only 2 turnovers, so did a really nice job. And as you said, they've got so many combinations, Matt, where they can play 1s and 2s and play them together. Nick Johnson can play the 1, York can play the 1 and the 2. TJ the same thing. Jordan Mays off the bench. So those 4 guys completely interchangeable.
Speaking of off the bench, Chris Eversley goes to the Cal Poly bench. He's replaced by Joel Awich, a sophomore out of St. Paul, Minnesota. Awaba worked it down low. Unable to put it home that time. Gordon rebound. And coming away with it is Aaron Gordon. Boy, for a big man, he can handle the ball. He can really dribble well.
It's all around toughness. And you know, you talk to the coaches, they said he has one agenda. And there's guys on this team, and a lot of teams, a lot of times their agenda is get to the next level. And they said his agenda is one thing, winning. That's all it's ever been. And you can see it when you just watch him. He was the first guy here. You and I were here an hour and a half before their shoot-around, Matt. We were just hanging out. Who came out first? TJ McConnell, Nick Johnson. They were getting ready, shooting free throws.
You brought up a good point, too. His career shooting percentage is higher than that of Mark Lyons.
Yeah.
We go back to his days at Duquesne.
You know, I think it's interesting. There's going to be some talk about this team and whether they can knock down shots. And I think it's interesting because their guard play, I think, will be better shooters than they were last year. You have Nick Johnson that's going to be better. TJ's going to be better. You got York off the bench. Oh, that could have been a highlight, but
Cal Poly trying to end a dry spell, and they can't get anything to go. In fact, they had not scored since TJ McConnell came back into the game for Arizona. They've been stuck on 19 for quite some time.
And that was a tough call for Nwaba there because it looked like Rondé Hollis-Jefferson a little bit out of control on that play, but that probably brings in the new charge block rule. I mean, if he is not 100% set as Rondé Hollis-Jefferson starts the upward movement, is what they call it, it's going to be a block.
And they get Jamal Johnson on the foul. Chris Eversley is coming back into the ball game for Cal Poly, and Malik Love as well. Arizona just 4 for 11 from the free throw line so far here tonight. Look at 4 for 12. So Eversley brings the ball up, and Cal Poly, the Mustangs, trailing by 5. Love with it. Looking for room, kicks it back out. Here's a 3-ball for Alex, and he can't get it to go. Well, they've just gone cold, man.
Yeah, they just Arizona wearing them down a little bit.
Drive that time underneath by Hollis Jefferson and a foul. Push.
Well, part of that, Aaron Gordon guarding their best player, Eversley, and Gordon came in to Sean Miller at the beginning of the season and said, look, I'll guard whomever you want me to guard. And right there he picks their best player, a senior, maybe the player of the year in the Big West this season, and really has done a nice job on him, and then snares that rebound and gets it on the break.
Hollis Jefferson gets the first. Substitutions. Brandon Ashley is back in. So is Gabe York. And now Jordan Mays for the Wildcats. As Nick Johnson, TJ McConnell, and Aaron Gordon have a seat on the Arizona bench. Odister back in the game for Cal Poly. So Odister was one of those hot hands from outside for Cal Poly. Gets the second one to go, does Hollis Jefferson. Seven-point ball game. This is Long. Odister in the corner. Eversley can't get it to go. It's like they got a trap on the top of that rim right now at the Cal Poly end.
And the length there from Ashley really bothered Eversley.
Malik Love. Now Odister for 3. He can't get it to go. Rebound there. And this is going to go against Arizona.
Now, and that was a good call.
Yeah, they get Tarzewski.
Yeah, it looked like Nawaba had position on that, and really no box out on Nawaba. And that's one thing you got to be careful if you're Arizona. You have such great athletes that they can get up, jump higher than anybody. You really have to box guys out. You look at those fundamentals, and they just didn't get a body on Nawaba.
Well, Nawaba ends the drought with a free throw. That's the other thing, too. If he makes his free throw, we're talking about a 5-point game. It's not like Arizona at the other end has been able to put him away early. Second one on the way for Nawaba, and he gets that one as well. Violation on the inbound, and so it'll go right back to Cal Poly and a chance here. Boy, Sean Miller's got to be disturbing to the head coach of the Wildcats.
Doesn't look like Damon Stoudemire is very happy either. He understands as a point guard, you've got to get that ball running away from the ball handler. From the inbounds guy, he was coming at him, and that's why he stepped on the line.
Had a nice chat today with Damon Stoudemire, who's enjoying working with Nick Johnson and TJ McConnell in the guards here at Arizona. Out of bounds, and it'll stay Cal Poly.
You're talking about, to Sean Miller, what does Damon bring? And he says, well, so many different things. You got to remember one thing. He had 54 points one time in an NBA game. So the credibility factor for him when he talks to those guards, as you mentioned, Matt, they are all eyes. They are all in listening to Damon, and he's really taught him some things about handling the ball and getting under the basket, not picking up your dribble, some of those NBA tricks.
Oh, what an asset to have on your coaching staff. Eversley kicks it out. Not a lot of room in the middle so far for Cal Poly. They try the baseline and foul underneath here. And I think that one's going to go against Gabe York.
Well, and there's the new rules, Matt. I mean, that's somebody just getting into a guy. Probably it'd be 50-50 whether that was called last year. Now they want, as they say, freedom of movement. So if you have a guy, if you have him beat, they don't want the defender trying to recover by using his
over the last few minutes.
Now, again, I think it's important to note this team has played a very difficult schedule the last few years. He's got another one this year. You mentioned 3 Pac-12 teams. It's funny, Eversley actually played in McHale, or actually was here when he was at Rice. Did not play in that game, and he said, yeah, this was the best arena I've ever played in. And he said, it's full circle. Cannot wait to come out tonight and compete as a starter for this team.
They're going to go to Stanford and Oregon. They also have a trip to Pitt. A blocking foul here on Malik Love. So T.J. McConnell will go to the line.
Now the Cal Poly motto, their educational philosophy is learn by doing. Now that's what they're doing. They're getting as good a schedule as they can come up with, and he feels like that's going to help them get over the top in the Big West. They want to win the Big West and win that tournament so they can get into the big tournament, the NCAA.
6 for 16 now are the Wildcats at the free throw line. And you wonder if that's something that could haunt them in the second half. 1-point ball game. Nwaba, who's had an excellent first half, can't get that one to go. Closing it on 4 minutes remaining in the opening half. Eversley's going to let one fly. That fell short. Hollis Jefferson pushing it. T.J. McConnell, kick out. Nick Johnson, 3 on the way.
Now you could see that coming about 3 seconds before.
Lost the time.
You got a meeting coming up next.
So Cal Poly, who's doing more than just hanging around here tonight in Tucson, will inbound the ball. Good one tonight of McHale. Malik Love driving the lane, puts one off the glass, and it goes. Well, Malik Love is coming in, contributed here for Cal Poly. T.J. McConnell. Hollis Jefferson goes underneath and gets it to go.
And that's what he does. He's a slasher. He gets to the rim. He led Arizona in free throw attempts in that exhibition game the other week. He loves to get to the lane and very aggressive, not tentative at all for a freshman.
Malik Love. Now Odister had a couple of 3-ball looks earlier in this first half. Shot on the way, that's on Eversley, and it goes off. Played all the way down, and now taking it away is Cal Poly. Nwaba brings it right back up. Tries to put it off the glass and in. How about the half Dave Nwaba's had?
Yeah,
he's been terrific. 12 points already.
And good defense by Gordon. He got position, made Nwaba move in midair, and he did and made it.
Underneath Johnson. Excuse me, Aaron Gordon.
Now, and that's just Cal Poly not getting a body on Gordon, and that's one guy you need to get a body on him. He's going to rip one in every time if you let him that free in the lane.
Awich for Cal Poly. And now Malik Love. 8 to go on the shot clock. Eversley looking for a screen down low. And that's it. Ball in studio to get you updated back in San Francisco. 33-29 Arizona with a 4-point lead, Matt Muehlbach, and it seems like they're maybe getting back to the success they had down low in the paint earlier in the first half.
Yeah, they have. They've been getting it inside, and if they really collapse outside, that's a layup. Arizona, absolute breakdown. And I think Sean Miller thought there may have been an illegal screen, but whatever it was, Cal Poly guy was wide open.
Yeah, right at the shot clock, too. Back to a 2-point ball game. TJ McConnell down low. Aaron Gordon driving the paint, puts it off the glass, can't get it to go. Rebound won't fall, but right there to put it home, Brandon Ashley.
And as you said, Matt, get the ball inside to Gordon or Ashley. Great move by Gordon, couldn't finish. His buddy, the other forward there, able to knock it in, and Ashley, I think, could be a monster offensive rebounder this season.
Closing in on a minute remaining in the first half. Eversley in the corner. Now Odister. 8 to go on the shot clock. Eversley puts one up. He got it. 3-pointer. And it's a 1-point game. About 7 seconds difference between the game clock and the shot clock. Ashley. Aaron Gordon. Down low, Ashley draws the foul. It looks like they're going to get Joel Awich underneath. So Brandon Ashley, the sophomore from San Francisco, at the line. And he gets the first one.
Well, that's the thing, Matt. They have been getting the ball inside, but as you mentioned, really struggling from the line. And this is a Sean Miller team throughout the years. They were second in the Pac-12 last year shooting from the foul line, and he makes it as big a priority as anything in practice. If you've ever gone to his practice, he really gets after him on the line. They record everything. Sean Miller, of course, one of the greatest foul shooters in college history. He is a fantastic shooter himself when he played. So,
shot clock is off, 11 seconds to go. Love goes side. Bennett puts up a jumper. And now Gordon the other way. Lets it go.
Foul or two early on Allen Williams to get him out of the game. This guy can do it.
Well, look at the lineups for both teams. Chris Eversley, he'll be the man that everyone wants to watch for at Cal Poly. Don't forget about Kyle Odister. Odister, along with Reese Morgan, bothered by injuries. So we'll have to keep an eye on that bench. Over to the other side, Allen Williams, Michael, you talked about him. But don't forget about Brewy, Brown, and Bryson.
Well, you know, that's the 3 Bs, and boy, I tell you, we got somebody going to talk to you about that just as well. Those 3 guys can put up numbers, and they are fantastic in transition.
Let's go over to the
Al Williams around the post to allow him to establish them in this game early.
Our officials today, Kurt Walker, Jeff Ketchu, and Rob Rourke will monitor the action. The Gauchos in their golden uniforms will be to the left, and the Mustangs in the black and emerald. The Gauchos will control it early, and they control it with Williams.
It'll be interesting to see how Cal Poly can be able to defend them as they're allowing once again him to get it inside. Al wins right there. Did not get the first to fall, but that's why he's averaging 3.7 offensive rebounds, folks. You just saw it right there. Just never letting go, never giving up. Finishes with 2 to get Santa Barbara started early.
The 2 teams split 1-1 during the regular season. Each team winning on the road, we might add. So we've already talked about this rivalry the blue-green rivalry, the two teams not very far apart, not very far apart school-wise. Off the miss there.
And now Cal Poly's going to have trouble trying to just guard the glass all afternoon. As you saw in the last possession, Allen Williams had several offensive rebounds on the play. He's averaging over 11 rebounds. That's number one in the Big West and tops in the country.
Harmon down in the corner. Williams had a quick two. Nice feed. A little late coming down the lane was Harmon. They're able to reset the clock. And another two for Williams. So early, Allen Williams is impressive. He's got 4.
Well, he's as advertised. You've seen him score inside, show the nice touch, get the friendly roll, and once again, back-to-back offensive rebounds. Cal Poly has to be careful. We're giving up way too many offensive rebounds here. We're allowing Allen Williams to get the ball, but you're guarding him, and he's missing those shots. You've got to come up with those offensive rebounds.
The floater won't go by Nawaba. Here come the Gauchos.
Santa Barbara's averaged about 73 points a game as Michael Bryson lines up the 3. And that's no mistake there, folks. That is his game. He has shot that all season long in the Big West. One of the top 3-point shooters in the Big West this past season.
7-zip early, 40% from the three-point arc, and there's a 3 on the other side. Nicely done there by a man we talked about in the open, Kyle Odister, Mr. Three-pointer.
Well, if they're going to have a chance to win this game, they're going to have to do it from the perimeter like that. I mean, that's just a tough shot by Kyle Odister. Odister falling out of bounds. But they just don't have that post presence like Santa Barbara, so they're going to have to be able to knock down shots from the outside.
Well, with a quick turnaround, that's a nice matchup. Look at the fight for the ball. Williams went in there hard, but the Mustangs come away with it. This is Nawaba. Nawaba loses the handle. They'll step back and set it up with Odister.
Well, Santa Barbara's in that tough 2-3 zone because you have to defend that. And then there's a nice offensive rebound off the block shot by Allen Williams.
Nice putback there. Awich gets his first 2.
Joe did a good job of just following up the shot block. I always tell kids, when you got a shot blocker, you got to follow him up as Allen Williams throws the ball over. And he's not able to get the ball to go up at all.
And the miss on the putback there by Brewy. So Zelmico had an open lane, lost the handle a bit. Brewy was right there, but he couldn't get it to fall either.
Well, Harmon had the first shot. I mean, he just, all of a sudden he realized that he wants to scoop the ball on the other side. He got into trouble.
No good on the 3. Odister will get another chance.
Well, this is what Cal Poly has to be careful of. Santa Barbara will sit back in this tough 2-3 zone defense and double dare you to make shots from the outside.
Well, the jump ball will go with the possession arrow and stay down on this end. The Mustangs won just 1 of the last 5 games. They have struggled. It's been an up and down year as we look at Bob Williams for the Gauchos. You contrast that. Williams, they've had just about everything go right for them this year, Michael. They had a solid preseason. They come into this game with size, depth. They're a physical team, and they've beaten the number 1 seed, UC Irvine, this year.
Right, and they've beaten everybody, so they're capable of doing that. As once again, I mean, you look at the perimeter passing.
Nawaba with 2 there.
They've been able to get into that zone defense. We talk about how strong the zone defense is for Santa Barbara, but there's cracks in it as they've gotten in there twice now and knocked down a deep outside shot to tie this ball game up at 7.
Well, look at the attention that Williams gets. Harmon thought about his 3. Quick turnaround by Williams. No go. Nice defense there. Very good job by Brian Bennett.
He did a good job of just staying on, bodying him up. That's what you have to do against a big body like Allen Williams, is body him up, make it tough for him to just get, a clean look at the basket.
Bennett turn around. That's short. Lucky to hit the rim.
Well, that's a good shot for Brian Bennett. That time he shot a little short. You'd like to see him be more aggressive with the basketball besides Chris Eversley and help him to share some of the offensive scoring load.
Taryn Brown, Boswell, Bryson. We've heard from Bryson already today. He hit 1 3, and there's a nice feed and a jam. Very nicely done. Harmon to Bryson. That's 5 on the night for Bryson.
Well, one of the oldest plays in basketball, the give and go. He gave it to the corner, Michael Bryson, and then cut to the basket and was able to finish. And he finishes strong just like that, folks, all the time.
Johnson won't go.
Nice tap out by Brian Bennett that time to get an extra possession. Your team, like Cal Poly, that only averages about 62 points a game. Whenever you can get an offensive rebound and not turn it over, that's a huge plus for you.
Physical play and a foul, our first foul of the day. Odister slow to get up. He's already nursing a stretch fracture on the foot. But this is tournament-style play. We're just getting started here at the Honda Center.
Michael Young baseball, Todd Rogers volleyball. And how about the bottom one? Jim Rome, are you kidding me? He was once a Gaucho.
And Bryson is on fire early, came out, popped that quick three. Boy, that's a good tone setter, isn't it?
Well, we talked about how terrific the backcourt is for Santa Barbara. You got Michael Bryson, Taryn Brown, he's just a sophomore as well. And, you have a big in the middle who's very effective. And so far, Alan Williams done a great job of not fouling and staying in the ball game.
Before we went to break, they put that foul on the other end on Brian Bennett. There's a three try, no good. And another foul down low.
And credit that to the aggressiveness of Alan Williams going after yet another offensive rebound. He's had 3 already as Brian Bennett gets called for the foul while trying to box him out.
So 2 personals on Bennett, the 6'9" sophomore out of Romeoville, Illinois.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate for Cal Poly. They've stuck with this man-to-man defense and done a pretty decent job of defending Alan Williams without fouling him. Now he has to be less aggressive. Can't afford to get that third foul.
Bryson has got his hand. That's a second trade for him. He's got 8.
Well, he's fun. I tell you, he's just fun in transition. He can finish in traffic. He has range on his shot. He's a very difficult player to guard, along with Alan Williams.
Ridge Shipley, the pure freshman, number 10, checks in for the first time today. He'll be at the point guard position. Nawaba going up high, drops it down over the trees. He's got 4.
Well, one way to attack a zone, there's 2. You gotta have good outside shooting. You gotta be good off the bounce. That time you saw Nawabi off the dribble, get to the basket and lay it up over the top of Alan Williams. That makes that zone defense a little bit shaky.
Another 3 try, that's a miss. Out of bounds will come back this way.
Santa Barbara sits back in that zone defense, and it just creates so many offense for them. And look at Alan Williams facilitating the offense over to Michael Bryson in the corner for the 3 ball.
That's one thing that Bob Williams has talked about all year, Michael. When it comes to Bryson, he said, if he's aggressive early, we usually have success.
And, it has correlated as Sam Beeler would come in for Alan Williams. You wonder why, because he's playing so well. But Alan Williams only averaged about 31 minutes a game. So, really, they do a very good job of keeping him fresh with that big body.
And they've done a good job of keeping Eversley out of the paint there. Another miss. Here come the Gauchos.
So, kudos to Alan Williams for staying, in the ball game as long as he did without fouling and allowing Sam Beeler to come in, who Coach spoke several times during the season about he'd like to find more minutes for number 44 in goal.
And you've got the B's in there, Bryson, Beeler, and Boswell. Kyle Boswell, another pure long-range shooter. As the Gauchos get careless with the ball. First turnover today for them.
Great job by Cal Poly. They've just said, all right, we're gonna stick with brought us to the dance too as well. As Chris Eversley makes a nice move and finish to the basket. They've stuck with that man-to-man defense. And listen, we double dare you to try to score on us. They were very effective in dislodging the ball for Michael Bryson, who's led to the 2 points.
Eversley's first 2 of the day, and the first team all Big West Conference selection. They know they have to keep him in check if they want to have success today. And another turnover. Second now going against the Gauchos. So they're getting a little lazy with the ball. Cal Poly found their groove a little bit. Works back to keep this one close. 1-point game.
10 points per game, but it's really Bryson and Brown who carry the load as starters. Over 11 for Bryson and 7 for Brown. Those 2 big when it comes to interior defense for the Gauchos.
Thanks, Lindsay. And to think also, Ron, that they are compliments to Alan Williams, and these are terrific players who are starters and they're putting up numbers. And you saw a good look at the sophomore there, Taryn Brown, was Player of the Year in the state of Wyoming. So he's come in, he's settled down, having a solid sophomore year. And Kyle Boswell has just been outstanding. From Huntington Beach, local kid, he's put up good numbers. Just an excellent shooter from downtown.
And the three is good on the other side. Anthony Silvestri, the 6'7" freshman, true freshman, out of San Francisco.
Oh, you look at it, wow, it's just they're up 2 points here with just under 12 minutes to go. How about that to start for Cal Poly? They had to come in here knocking down shots. They understand the importance of this game. It's win or go home, sink or swim, as yet another turnover unforced here by Santa Barbara.
Oh, and the missed layup, but the putback is good. The third turnover by the Gauchos starting to cost them as the Mustangs take a 4-point lead.
Well, and a lot of them have been unforced, just ill-advised passes. You know, right there you saw it up top there, and it's starting to hurt because you're talking about a team, Cal Poly, who only averages 62 points a game. So they don't get a whole lot of help from their offense, but when they can get transition buckets as a result of turnovers and offensive rebounds, they're going to stay in ball games. And guess what? They're nursing a 4-point lead.
Cal Poly on a 9-0 run.
And look how far out they have the offense extended for Santa Barbara. So kudos.
Better get a shot up. I think it got him. It did. Shot clock got him. Great defense, as you alluded to, Michael, by Cal Poly. The fourth turnover by the Gauchos.
And look at the group that's in the game for Cal Poly. No Chris Eversley, no Brian Bennett. So kudos to head coach there. Just trying to get this team started, you know, and Coach Joe Calero, and establishing an early position in this game with their non-starters out of the game.
The Gauchos started the game 3 of 5 from the field as a foul is called there. Since that time, they are 2 of 8, so they have cooled down considerably. And that foul going against Taryn Brown, one of the 3 Bs. That'll be his first personal of the day.
Well, we saw a nice start by Santa Barbara in the first couple of minutes. And right now, the wheels are starting to come off the bus for them. But give credit to Cal Poly. They're solid. They're knocking down shots. They're attacking the zone. And they're forcing turnovers on the other end.
Shipley going way high off the glass to get that one up over the big man inside. Down the lane. No foul call. Great defense. That was Childress trying to force the issue. Malik Love. Shipley, nice pass inside to Owich, and he's fouled. So all of a sudden, Michael, the tempo has picked up dramatically.
Well, you look at what they've done. They've done as a result of good passing, solid defense. You know, you're talking about a team, Cal Poly, that has trouble scoring the basketball, and I'm having trouble believing it right now, as they look like they are the number 2 seed here in the tournament and playing like, you know, we want to keep this game close and give ourselves a chance to win.
Owich, a 76% free throw shooter. He'll hit the first one. He's got 3 on the day. And this really has been the Mustangs' MO, I guess, coming into the season, Michael. Very good on defense. They've had trouble scoring.
And when you can get those turnovers, and when you can attack, you know, they usually run out the shot clock just to get shots. That's why they only score about 62 points a game. That's hard-pressed to believe right now, because they're playing a solid game. And you got to keep in mind, too, Ron, this is the blue-green rivalry. Right. This is not an ordinary game here between a number 2 and a number 7. Their close proximity is also affecting, you know, the game as well.
Nice little pick-and-roll action, but they doubled out very well on Williams. Boy, look at the action away from the ball. As Owich comes down with the rebound.
And they've kept Alan Williams in the last couple of possessions off that sweet spot, just not allowing him to get that deep post position and then finish over the top. And that time, he missed 2 shots, you know, within 8 feet. When you don't have a shot blocker and you're doing that, Cal Poly, that's a huge plus for you. And then showing patience right here on the zone.
Mustangs with a 6-point lead, shot clock down, and another 3 is dropped. All of a sudden, Owich is heating up. He's got 7. Joel Owich, 6'7", redshirt sophomore out of Oakdale, Minnesota, taking control. 21-12, number 7 seed Cal Poly over UC Santa Barbara.
And just really impressive as another turnover by Santa Barbara on the offensive foul. I mean, you talk about how they've done it, man. This is just outstanding shooting. One way to bust the zone defense, You got to knock down shots from the outside. But guess what? They're doing that, and now they're nursing a 9-point lead. Head coach Bob Williams for Santa Barbara must be scratching his head right now. Like, going, guys, what is going on? We've got to defend, and we've got to stop turning the basketball over. Two things they have not done.
Second personal foul call that time on the Gauchos' Sean Moore. The Gauchos, no points in the last 5 minutes and 31 seconds. Now finally they get a turnover and a reach-in foul there going against Malik Love.
Now what's interesting is that Santa Barbara is generally one of the least likely teams to turn the ball over in the Big West, and they have turned the ball over here early and often here in this first half, and it's put them at a deficit.
Michael, you make a great point coming into the day's game. The Gauchos averaging only 11 turnovers a game. That put them in the minus category for the giveaway takeaways. That's what you want. But that hasn't been the case here on turnovers for the Gauchos.
Well, Ron, they have 5 in the first 8 minutes, so they have to really control them as Kyle Boswell lines up a 3 and cannot get it to fall.
So Boswell's going to try to shoot him back into it quickly.
And that's a good shot by him.
Oh, and the dunk denied twice. A nice job going up strong by Zach Gordon. But the Gauchos were there both times. Finally, the foul was put on Williams, his first personal. Big West Conference.
Just a zone buster. The 3-ball corner pocket. They're up 9. And in the big block here by Michael Bryson, relentless effort by Cal Poly to not give up and get fouled on the play was Brian Bennett. So if you're head coach there, Joe Calero, you love what's happened here. You've taken control of the game. You've played smart. You've kept your turnovers low. And you forced a team that generally doesn't turn the ball over into some early turnovers, Ron.
And to find out what might be going on over there in the sideline of the UC Santa Barbara Gauchos, let's go over to Lindsey Theory.
Bob Williams not too happy with his guys, reminding them that it's not going to be easy to win this game. He says they really need to get tough out there because Cal Poly is clearly tougher than them right now. He wants to keep going inside and go up to the glass, something they're not doing yet.
Wow, Lindsey, that's a heck of a statement coming from a number 2 team, number 2 seed, when your coach tells you the other team is just flat out tougher than you are right now. As we've got a foul called against Williams.
Well, that's, you know, you look at how he did. I mean, he wanted that play. Look at the numbers of him. 4 points today, 21.6 on the season. You've got to get him touches. I mean, you just got to make him a part of the game early. They got away from it, got high turnovers away from the basket, took some couple of shots that didn't go down, but I'd go right back inside to him, make him become a factor here.
Zach Gordon called on that last foul, his first personal. 4-4 in the team foul category.
And interesting that they've switched and put Chris Eversley on Alan Williams because he doesn't have any fouls.
Williams close. Nope, that's a goaltend. So the quick turnaround and 6 points on the day for Williams. But Michael, you see
Cal Poly is clearly tougher than them right now. He wants to keep going inside and go up to the glass, something they're not doing yet.
Wow, Lindsey, that's a heck of a statement coming from a number 2 team, number 2 seed, when your coach tells you the other team is just flat out tougher than you are right now. As we've got a foul called against Williams.
Well, that's, you know, you look at how he did. I mean, he wanted that play. Look at the numbers of him. 4 points today, 21.6 on the season. You've got to get him touches. I mean, you just got to make him a part of the game early. They got away from it, got high turnovers away from the basket, took some couple of shots that didn't go down, but I'd go right back inside to him, make him become a factor here.
Zach Gordon called on that last foul, his first personal. 4-4 in the team foul category.
And interesting that they've switched and put Chris Eversley on Alan Williams because he doesn't have any fouls.
Williams close. Nope, that's a goaltend. So the quick turnaround and 6 points on the day for Williams. Michael, you see some of his athleticism right there.
I mean, he was relentless. He says, I want the ball. I don't like being down 8 points here or 10 points before he made the basket. He was just relentless in his pursuit and got it, and eventually got the bucket inside.
Reminding everyone, the Cal Poly Mustangs have had an up-and-down year, 10-19 overall, 6-10 in the conference. They come in as a number 7 seed. The Gauchos have had a stellar year, 21-8 overall, as that 3-ball is drained. That's Johnson, his first 3 of the day.
You talk about just shooting the lights out right now. Cal Poly is just having quite a day from all areas of the game. Outside, knocking the shot down by various players, not just one guy knocking down shots. As Michael Bryson says, guess what? I can do what you can do too, except it's a 3.
And he's got 11. The Gauchos 12-4 in the conference, the number 2 seed. People are already writing on the board. UC Irvine and UC Santa Barbara, they forgot to tell and show that board to Cal Poly. That's Odister. He's got 6.
Well, Odister is out of his mind right now. He shot that one there about 2 feet beyond the arc. You talking about the outstretched hands of a zone defense. One main way to bust it is to knock down shots from the outside. And they are doing it, Ron. I mean, you talk about doing it by committee. I mean, look at this here. I mean, that's just a catch and shoot. You can't coach that.
That's in your face, too. That's over one of the Bs, the 3 Bs we talked about, Taryn Brown.
Well, you know, right now, Cal Poly has to play like a riverboat gambler. I mean, you know, you got to have a short memory. Forget about what happened during the season.
Why not, right?
And just go for broke.
Odister, along with Reese Morgan, the 2 X-factors in this game, injury-wise. Could be a great play there. Once again by Odister, and another one. This guy he's come to play today. Well, it's clear.
They're not allowing right now Allen Williams to get any good looks. They understand how effective he is on the box, and they doubled him right away and dislodged the ball from him.
6-foot redshirt senior out of Sacramento, California. Hasn't played a whole lot.
And one and done at the glass is Cal Poly as they missed the chippy inside by Santa Barbara.
Nwaba back over to the other side, finished off by Jamal Johnson. He's got 5, 30-17.
If I'm Santa Barbara right now, I'm really trying to figure out how do we stop the dribble penetration and how do we stop the outside shooting, which has been on fire by Cal Poly. I'm very impressed, and yet another turnover here. And if you're Santa Barbara, you need a timeout. Because right now, the wheels are coming off the bus. Your offense is anemic. And guys are standing around making turnovers and not getting back on defense. We're talking about a number 2 seed getting hammered by a number 7 seed.
5 turnovers don't help the cause. Nwaba puts the exclamation point on it for 6 on the day, and a huge lead, 32-17, as we get close to halftime. A halftime that I think UC Santa Barbara is going to need, and boy, things are getting hot. The possession arrow will stay down on this end. And Joe Calero brought that fighter's mentality into this one.
Well, look right here. This epitomizes what's happened this whole half for Cal Poly. I mean, turnovers the other way, celebrating, dunking the basketball in transition. If you're head coach there, Joe Calero, you've got to be pleased because this is beyond your wildest dreams to be up 15 in the first half on Santa Barbara.
15 on the shot clock. Down into Williams. Turnaround. Won't go. Boy, the physical play there. Nwaba just beating up on Mitch Brewer. He said, get out of my paint.
Well, you heard what Nancy Cleary, third part of our broadcast team, talk about, that they're winning the physical game, according to Coach Bob Williams. There's like a big mad scramble on the floor. And I always say whoever gets to the floor first gets the ball. And Michael Bryson got to the floor and smartly called timeout so they can catch their breath and figure out what's going on here as Cal Poly has just dominated this first half.
So the Gauchos, as a number 2 seed, started off a lot of length on that team, taking on UC Irvine. And we'll finish up the night with Hawaii taking on Cal State Northridge. It's all happening right here today on Prime Ticket.
Oh, we definitely want to see that second game. Cal State Fullerton and Long Beach State. That backcourt is outstanding for both teams. And Michael Williams, the freshman, averaging over 17 points a game. And Alex Harris has missed a big shot. Of course, Michael Capp and Tyler Lang from Long Beach State have been solid all season.
UC Santa Barbara started the game on a 7-0 run. Cal Poly is on a 32-10 run. Excuse me, Michael.
Well, Cal Poly stayed in his man-to-man defense. And they've been very physical. They said, I double dare you to score, which they've had limited touches to Alan Williams. And they said also, you know, we're going to force you into turnovers. They've done just that. And when you get a lot of turnovers in one half, guess what? You're up 15. But the bumping, the grinding, and the physical play is starting to affect Williams as he is not getting those easy touches. And guess what? You know, the numbers speak for themselves. At this point, Cal Poly being up 15 points, this guy has got 6 points on the day, averaging over 21 a game, and he's been in there for most of the game, so kudos to the Mustang defense.
And kudos again to the Mustang offense, shooting 54% from the field thus far in the first half.
So everything has gone right for Cal Poly here in this first half, and everything has gone wrong for Santa Barbara. They need to figure out, first of all, as Michael Bryson lines up another three, can't get it to fall. They did a great job of just not allowing the second shots, as you saw there. When the game first started, Santa Barbara got several offensive rebounds that kept them, kept them going, kept their offense moving. They've cut that out. And right now, head coach Bob Williams there is going to have to figure out how do we slow down Cal Poly, which is unusual. They only average 62 points a game. But the turnovers have been devastating for Santa Barbara here also. They've got to stop turning the basketball over.
Awich, Nawaba, and Odister, your leading scorers for Cal Poly, 7, 6, and 6 respectively. Odister, he's really been a catalyst. He's hit some big threes. Had some great hustle plays, great turnaround shot there by a man I just mentioned, Nawaba. He's got 8.
Now, that time, Santa Barbara got out of their traditional 2-3 zone defense, played man-to-man, and Cal Poly was still able to get in the paint and finish. So right now, the Gauchos' coaching staff must be scratching their heads.
Michael, the action away from the ball is really something to watch, especially as it centers around Alan Williams.
Well, officials are letting play as Alan Williams right there got the ball at point-blank range.
Couldn't do anything with it.
Could not finish. I mean, look at this. This is they forced Santa Barbara out of a zone defense because they were getting hammered in it. You go man-to-man, same results.
That was a previous score by Nawaba. With some nice little smooth spin turnaround there. 6'4" sophomore out of Uni High here in Los Angeles. Strong rebound there by Childress. Here come the Gauchos. And another turnover. That's been their nemesis in the first half. They've got 6.
It's just really misled. And Cal Poly's done a very good job of making those turnovers lead to three-pointers. As Odister is just having a game of his life here in this first half. I mean, he shot another one, and it is now a 20-point lead by Cal Poly, the number 7 seed. 9
points for Odister. Here's a little 3 relief on the other side by Childress. That's his first 3 of the day.
If you're Santa Barbara, you got to get to the half. Right now, your offense is anemic. You can't stop the bleeding. You got to figure out or get the right people in there that can get some stops, because right now Cal Poly is just doing whatever they want to do offensively. I have not seen them have an offensive afternoon like this here in the entire Big West season. And what a time to have it.
What a time to have it. Well, Michael, we had that conversation before the game. This tournament brings out a different type of player.
Are you kidding me? I mean, if you talk about doing it by committee, everyone is knocking down shots that comes in the game for Cal Poly.
That's Awich, and a timeout called by Cal Poly, but they're doing nothing but scoring. 19-point lead, everything they've done, averaging 63 points a game. The most points they've scored in the last six games was 73 total.
Now, They got 39 points in the half, and they're not done.
We're not even at the half yet.
And this,
right.
You're right. This is a team that averages 62 a game. So they're like, they're like 23 points off of their season average for scoring. So kudos to them. I mean, it's not all just Santa Barbara. You have to knock down those shots. As Allen Williams, they made it very tough to see the crowd. He has had a tough afternoon here so far, and he's going to have to figure that out. The Big West player of the year, averaging over 21 a game and 11 rebounds. He has struggled.
And a 7th turnover. They've got a little water or something on the floor over here. No, that's some blood coming down from the eye of Eversley. That's a nasty gash.
And it's been very physical. And the officials have let him play on both ends. There hasn't been a whole lot of free throws on both ends, so certainly that looks like a cut that's going to require medical attention and possibly going to the locker room early. And we certainly hope Chris Eversley is okay. But clearly just a lot of blood running down, almost like a boxer's cut. My rookie year in the NBA, he threw that famous sky hook and hit me right above the eye. And I didn't feel it, and all this blood started running down. And so I know what, certainly Chris Eversley is feeling on that play, and he should be able to be out for the half. But the officials obviously have to stop the game and remove him from the game.
He is a key player, obviously, over 1,100 career points. Shot clock.
And that's
game clock late, and that's just how it's gone. At Shipley with his first 2, and adding more insult to the injury, Cal Poly all over the Gauchos, 41-20. Williams with 6 points, 5 rebounds, 3 of 10 from the field. Let's go over to Lindsey Theory.
Cal Poly will inbound the ball, start second half. Same starters for both sides. Foul number 12, Andrew Brown. His third foul, first team foul. TJ Wallace takes in for 5. intermediate foul. Personal foul, Khalil Kelly, his third, second team foul. Russ Rivera checks into the lineup for Kelly. His third, fourth team foul. David McLaughlin at the line, he'll shoot two. 16 Pacific. Aaron Short, his third. Foul. Malik Love shooting 2. His third. Asking number 7. PJ Wallace shooting 2. Foul number 8, Tattoo and Gill back into the Pacific. Eversley at the line, he'll shoot 2. All right, at the line for 1-1. That's team number 8. Andrew Locke, 1-1. Tony Gilbert. 21.
Not even playing. The other stuff in this game real? Yeah. Which one's that? It's just on the store.
No, Anthony Silvestri is third. Team foul number 10. Tony Gill, shooting 2.
That's the game that we're actually playing. Who do they want to use for?
Chris Eversley back in. Brazil left. Everyone with the line. Jump shot, Chris Eversley. Basketball, Savera. Harris, Gill, Wallace back in, representing Johnson back in for Cal Poly.
I'll never use it. That's a guy?
Pacific, yeah.
Jump shot from Chris Eversley. Nwaba at the line for 2 shots.
That was pretty funny that Bella mentioned the Dixon.
Harrison Rivera back in for Pacific.
It was an incredibly beautiful moment in time.
Timeout.